Hello, I am Lauren, and I'm going to knock out a couple of quick tasks that I've had on my to-do list. They're very, very simple. One of them I actually already did, but I'll show you what I did. And this is a continuation of a video that I did last weekend about theme.json full site editing for a child theme. Microphone's right here. I'm going to try to speak a little louder so it'll pick up my voice, but it's almost 1 a.m., so I feel like I need to be quiet. Access files of witness near me. Okay. I probably looked at this like 5 times and still got confused about where are the staging site files. There, you gotta go in here if you're using Hostinger. So we're going to go into the staging. We're going to look at WP content because that's where the theme files are. I'm going to go to themes. I'm going to go to our child theme, WNM theme, and we're going to look at the theme.json file. So when I was in here, I just made 2 updates. I updated the WordPress version to 7.0 and I updated the theme.json version to 3. Why did I do that? Well, if we look at, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this or not. There it is, theme.json reference. So we've got theme.json version 3 is the latest version. I was on version 2, so I went ahead and updated to this. So it's kind of hard to tell what changed unless you were already like a theme.json expert and had version 2 memorized, which I do not. But I guess you could look at these and like cross compare. But this is part of the reason why I updated, because I learned that the reference there to the WordPress version is right in that URL for the schema. So we'll just get out of here. Scroll back up so I can read that later. We also don't need this because I didn't change anything, but I will note that I added my tertiary style here because I had done some quick and dirty changing on my header. Let's get out of patterns and we're just gonna start over. So we're gonna go to appearance, we're gonna go to editor, and we want to look at templates specifically, and even more specifically, we want to look at page no title, because this is the one that we're going to be working with the most. To me, it just means it's not going to have the title of the page up at the top. Personal preference. Okay, so we have a header, we got a content block, we got a footer. We want to concentrate on this here header. So you can't edit much about the header. You can't really edit anything about it. Maybe, you could change it. You can make it a different header, but you can't make any refined changes here. So we want to edit the original so we can get to here. And since there's a very slim chance that you saw the last, well, actually I cut it out in the last video because it was just me kind of fumbling around, and here's proof of the fumbling. So this typically would be the site title, but I had to change that because you can't, there's only so much you can do with the site title. And if we look at my stitch layout here, I wanted to follow this. See how it has the different color near me? I wanted to do that too, and I wasn't able to do that with the site title because it's kind of locked down. So I switched this to a paragraph, but I also did something kind of silly in here. So if we look at edit as HTML, we can see that I added a class. See the span right here, so that I could put that color on there, but you actually don't need to do that. So we're going to get rid of that. No span, edit visually, go back to this, and then we're just going to select near me, and then we're going to highlight it. And now I've got my tertiary color in there because I added it in the theme.json. You could probably add a whole bunch of other colors in here too if you really wanted to, but I don't really want to. So, excuse me. We're just going to do that for now. And then we can also look over here. This navigation, I'm not going to use that. If we look here, kind of zoom out, I only have a couple of things in this right hand corner. This alpha access button, I'm not going to do that because this is actually a splash page, which means it's not going to link to any other pages, and all the information that you need is contained directly on this page. So we will add this little badge, and I think I'm just going to put like stub content in the right hand side until I figure out what I do want to do with that. Like, it shouldn't be linking to anything, but maybe it could be like my phone number or something, or an email address for witnessnearme.com. It could be like maybe an email or a phone icon or something like that. I haven't decided, so we're just going to put stub content, figure it out later. And then that's going to get rid of this pageless cannot retrieve pages, because I don't have any pages. I literally have no pages right now. I am going to make one, but even when I do, I'm not going to want it to go into the navigation because I don't want navigation right there. So we're going to delete. Now we want to add something here. We're going to add after, we'll just go with paragraph, and we're going to write icon. And we're going to get rid of this. Delete. And then we're going to add something else after the icon. We're going to add after. And this is where you want to stub content. And then right here, we need some spacing in between there. Styles. Padding. Block spacing. That's weird. Why is it only on the top? I guess we'll just add padding. Why is it margin only on the top and bottom? I add padding. No, I don't want it on the row. We would really want like block spacing, but in between these two blocks. So without getting too involved, let's that doesn't do anything. For the row, that one, it's got to be over there. So we've got position that we can add, and that's about it. So if we want padding in here, we're probably going to have to put it on one of these. We'll put it on the icon stub, I guess. Can I? Dimensions, width. Do we have padding in here? We do. Let's add it. And that's not what I want to do. It like this. We only want the padding on the right side a little tiny bit more. Okay, so now this is when I figure out what I want to go here, I'll put it there. And when I have a little SVG icon, then I will put that right there. Let's save this, and let's see if we can get I don't really necessarily like the shield icon. I feel like I can do better than that. Really, this whole right corner needs to be some other things. So probably going to be like a phone number and an email link in case you don't want to fill out this form. All right. So we saved the header, and like I said, we don't have a page yet, so we can go ahead and make a basic page, first page. Add a page. We have the privacy policy, but that doesn't really count. Okay, here we have an option to choose a pattern, which I don't really want to do because I'm basically going to be building everything from scratch for the layout that we have created. And there are some things that I like about this and some things that I don't. Particularly this left-hand side, it's very AI vibe coded. Like it looks like an AI created this layout. So we want to give this a little more personality, like real person personality, and not make it look too consistent with all the designs that are being pumped out by AI. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to change it yet, but I am going to change that. So this is basically just like a 2-column kind of deal with some words on the left and a form on the right. Then we have this meter, we've got this memorandum of law, and then we've got 3-column section with some little cards. So we're going to skip this pattern situation. Just do that. Add title. So this is going to be called home. And again, we're going to use page no title because we don't want home printed up at the very top of the page. It's just not the right, this isn't the right place for that. Here we can go ahead and just add a group. And we know it's going to be columns, and we'll just write some stuff over here. So on this side, this is the side that will have the intro content. And then I like this outline thing. We're gonna, I don't really like that. Why'd you do it like that? Maybe I need like 2 groups in there. Let's add 2 groups. So we're gonna add before. We're going to put a group. This one can just be like so. Excuse me. And then we're going to put that group inside of here. Yeah, that kind. We're going to put this paragraph inside the group. Then we're going to duplicate this group. Now we have a row of 2 groups. This one, this is the side that will have the contact form. Now we have a page. Simple, easy. We could do the footer, but I'm right at 14 minutes and I kind of want to wrap this up. So let's see what our silly little site looks like. We have the page, preview, home. This is the side that will have the intro content. This is the side that will have the contact form. That's our home page. I'm not crazy about this schlug. So what if I just do that? Save. I don't know if it's going to let me do that. Yeah, it's like, no, you must have a name. Well, there might be something I'm not understanding about that home. What am I missing there? I don't want this to have... Oh, that reminds me. I was confused about... Let's go ahead and put... No, I'm leaving that the way it is. I was confused about the removal of the option to set either a dedicated page or your blog archive page as the home page. I didn't see that in here. There it is. I don't know why it wasn't on here the last time I looked. So we're going to make home page the home page and leave all this stuff as it is. I swear it wasn't on there. Like I came here, I'm like, why can't I set a page? Maybe it's because I didn't even have a home page. I only had the draft. That's possibly why, and I could possibly prove that like on a different site. But for now, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up. If we go here and do this, there we go. Much better. So maybe next time we can work on adding an icon here and figuring out, just in general, figuring out what's going to go on this right-hand side. And then maybe as a footer as well. So we're just going to make a sandwich around the content. We're not going to worry too much about anything that's in the middle here. We just want to focus on this top part and this bottom part. So I think that's a pretty good place to stop. And I've said before, oh, I'm going to make a series out of this. And then I make like 1 or 2 videos and then just abandon it, or just make 1 video and abandon it. So I may or may not make a series about this particular site that I'm exploring. Full site editing, theme.json, child theme, WordPress 7.0. because I am learning a couple of things. I've had this Hostinger account for like a month, and prior to that, I've been using SiteGround for a couple of years, so it's much easier for me to get around in there. I actually had to redo this video because I was trying to go to the file manager and I could not find the staging files. Like my brain would not see the STG. It was expecting it to be somewhere else. So as I fumble through this, I'll try to record whatever I can that may or may not be helpful to other people, but I think maybe some of the content that's already out there is lacking is actually showing some of the mistakes, because this stuff isn't always intuitive unless you're part of the team that helps build the core WordPress and you've got, the inside scoop and you keep tabs on the releases and what's different and what's new. I don't. I got too many other things that I'm trying to figure out. And there are some other like experimental things I want to do in here. Like if we see this thing right here, Ask AI, I want to ask it some stuff. I haven't asked it anything yet. Actually, I did ask it to help me find the file manager, but it wasn't really that helpful. I had to find it on my own. But I want to see what it can do like in here. Once I've got some template parts and some patterns created, I want to see if it can force multiply at all. So we're going to stop right there. Thank you if you watched all of this, like extra thank you. That's amazing. And it's only like early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So tomorrow I will most likely do a little more work on this. I figured this is a good project to record the progress on, because I started with nothing. So anyway, thank you again. Saying goodbye again, even though I tried to say goodbye like 5 minutes ago. Have a great day, night, whatever.